A Duff Said is brought to you by Sheldon Street Pizza. Visit them online at sheldonstreetpizza.com or stop by Sheldon's during your next trip to Lake Orion. Sheldon Street Pizza, the official pizza of A Duff Said. And by Fourth Coast Cider Works. Quality craftsmanship, quality hard cider. You can check them out online at fourthcoastciderworks.com or come get a can or a howler at their Canterbury Village location. Not available for anyone under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, this is Ben Hassinger, Michigan's ukulele ambassador and baseball balladeer. And you are listening to the best sports podcast here in Michigan, and that's A Duff Said.
Thank you, Ben. And thank you for hitting the play button on your favorite listening device of choice from wherever you listen to podcasts. My name is Duff Tyler, and that's A Duff Said. This week, we are once again talking Saginaw Valley State football. The Cardinals just held their annual spring game last weekend. I caught up with head coach Ryan Brady, and that conversation starts now. So, Coach, you had an exciting weekend this past weekend with your spring game, and certainly I want to get into that. But before we do, I want to talk to you about one of your outgoing seniors, Trevor Nowaske. He was on my show just a couple of weeks ago. His name has come up as a potential NFL draft pick. What do you think would be his biggest asset that an NFL team could utilize?
Well, at that level, it's all about, your athleticism and, your talent. And obviously Trevor's got a lot of those two qualities. And so he's tested extremely well. He's got the size, 6'3", 240 plus pounds, and ran a 4.5 40 and broad jumped over 10 feet. So, the scouts are really excited, about his athleticism, his measurables, which is really important at the NFL level, and now the NFL is doing their homework and working on finding out everything there is to know about Trevor and, his family and what kind of leader is he and his work ethic and all of his intangible qualities. So it's really exciting because we've got a lot of teams calling, talked to the Falcons today and, they're digging into all those kinds of things I was just talking about. And so it's definitely exciting time for Trevor, as well as, Nick Whiteside's been garnering an awful lot of attention and a lot of phone calls. And so we're really excited about both of those young men.
What was one of your biggest selling points for them?
I love both kids are great young men. And I just told, Falcons today, like, hey, they're both relentless workers. And I think all the NFL guys that I've been around that have made it, that are still there, they all have a passion for living that life. And that lifestyle's every single day, the way you train, the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you do recovery. I mean, it is, you eat, sleep, and breathe football, in both of those guys, Nick and Trevor. They have that quality, and that's the quality you got to have if you want to be successful at that level and stick around.
What did Whiteside and Nowaske mean to your program?
I mean, words really can't put into how important those two were. Both were, leaders and captains and, integral part of our defense. And both were huge playmakers. Both were guys that you knew they were totally bought in and were totally committed to doing everything in their power to helping their team be successful. So, I'm going to miss them both dearly. Got a great relationship with both of them, and I love them both. And it's been just really awesome to watch them grow and develop and put themselves in a really good position to continue, their football career professionally.
One of the things that Trevor and I talked about a couple of weeks ago, when he was coming out of high school, most of the offers that he was getting were from schools in the GLIAC and at the Division II level. None of the D1 schools were giving him much attention at all. And now the NFL is taking a huge interest in him. What has it been like to see him develop into that kind of prospect?
It's what it's all about. It's all about development. We pride ourselves on being a developmental program, and we pride ourselves in developing young men in every area of their life, physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, spiritually. And some guys, they catch a glimpse of success, and it's just like, it's like a drug for them. And then they're just so inspired, and they just take themselves and their development to a whole nother level, and Trevor's done that. Nick has done that, and as have a lot of guys, and that's a big part of our success that Saginaw Valley has, and been rebounding here and trying to fight and scratch and claw our way back to the top of this league. And we got guys that are that inspired, that are, loving their experience, loving being a Cardinal, and it's just driving them to new and greater heights.
One of the things that Trevor was telling me about was his work ethic. He had a very rigid routine. It started getting up, going to the weight room, putting in the time there to really develop into the kind of mold that he is right now, the size that he has. You talked about it a minute ago. He definitely has the intangibles to be an NFL linebacker just based on the time that he put into the weight room. How would you describe his work ethic and approach to everything that he has accomplished?
Yeah, I really admire his approach. I mean, he's all business, and he understands like what kind of sacrifices need to be made to get the kind of gains that he's gained over the course of the last 2 years. I thought last summer before we rolled into August camp, Trevor put himself in position to be, to test out, higher and better than probably anybody on our roster, at that point in time. And he just had an incredible summer, working out twice a day, eating right every step of the way, going to bed at 8 p.m., getting the proper sleep, going back, stretching, working out, doing recovery. I mean, it all adds up, Duff. And if you're obsessed about that, and you live that, 24 hours a day, over the course of, a year and a half, 2 years, you can make significant gains. And that's just what Trevor did.
That's not easy for somebody who is in their early 20s to keep a lifestyle like that, especially when there are so many things that you want to be a part of. You want to go out with your friends, you want to enjoy the evening, go out, have a good time with everybody. But he knew that if he was going to accomplish this goal, he had to really live it 24/7. What was it like to see somebody that young be so mature about it?
Well, it's exciting for me. My goal is, as the coach is, I want to see 120 guys do that, and then that's how you win championships. And so, really excited that that culture has now developed, and we have a lot of young players in our program that watch Trevor, and Nick and guys like that, and what they had to do to basically earn the success that they received. And so now the blueprint's out there, and now all my other players know, okay, this is what I need to do. And man, once that start, it's just a trickle down effect. And so I'm just really excited that things are headed in this direction, and really excited that kids are getting the opportunity from Saginaw Valley to continue to play football at the highest level. I just think it says a lot about our program, our school, our athletic department, and our coaching staff.
That's a heck of a role model for your younger guys to have, somebody that they can look up to, knowing if they put in the work, they can be in the same category that he is right now, looking to further his playing career in football at the professional level. But not only that, but it's a great way for your program to build on the success that you guys had last year. You guys had a winning season, 8-3. just missed the playoffs by a couple of points in that Davenport game. So much to build on. So with this spring game that you just had over the weekend, how do you think things went for you guys?
Yeah, overall, I'm very pleased. We went offense versus defense, and very competitive back and forth spring game. So I was pleased we got out of that thing injury free, and that's the number one goal and priority for every football coach when you're just trying to get through spring ball. So we made it through spring healthy, and didn't have any major setbacks, and just really saw a lot of positive things from a lot of players. I got to look at a lot of really good young players. So definitely the future is definitely bright, definitely exciting, and we had a lot of fans and guests on Saturday, and they got to catch a glimpse of a lot of our new faces, and so the feedback that I've received is really good. I think we're bigger, and we're faster, and we're stronger, and in a lot of areas, we're better than we were 4 months ago, and so that's what you want to see as a coach, is just keep seeing those incremental steps, after each segment, and this program just continuing to grow. So overall, I thought the quarterbacks played very well, and the offensive line's been better than it's ever been. So I'm really proud of those guys and what they've done, and our receiver room is really stabilized, and we got some really good, exciting running backs, and then the tight ends have had that opportunity to step up with a couple seniors departing, and they've looked bigger and stronger and more athletic, and so overall we've got a lot of guys back offensively that played a lot of snaps and a lot of football last year. So that's encouraging, and then defensively, our front seven's just been outstanding. I love our three linebackers. And they're as tough as any three linebackers that I've ever coached. And our defensive line's been very stout and very doing a very good job rushing the passer. And then really I've been impressed with our young secondary. We do have a young secondary, but we're longer, we're more athletic. But we don't have the experience that we had last year. We graduated 5 seniors in the back end, and those guys were great. You just don't replace a guy like Nick Whiteside, and Cam Mitchell and Richie Bowens and Noah Suber. We had a really good secondary, but I have been extremely impressed with, what Coach McEwen's done with that room this spring. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. And then obviously I think our kicking game is, we missed some field goals on Saturday, but I thought collectively as a group, Ryan Heikert's been outstanding, really strong leg. And, Ryan Wenstrom's back as our long snapper for the 3rd straight year. So we're really solid in our specials as well. So really looking forward to a lot of guys back, a lot of guys really hungry, a lot of guys with a big chip on their shoulder as things didn't end the way that we wanted it to end last year.
How much of that was discussed when you guys went out there? Because you knew that you had a job to do, and that is to kind of get back to that level that you were at this past season and then build on it, because obviously you want to take that a step further. You want to be in the same spot that Grand Valley, Davenport, and Ferris State all were last season. So for these younger guys that are going to be stepping up into some big roles for you, how important was this whole weekend for them?
Yeah, it was obviously, it was very important, and we talk about it all the time, and, we've really focused on coaching our guys harder than we've ever coached them here. And we've really tried to put as much stress and pressure and create as much anxiety and chaos for them as possible in practice and scrimmage situations. And obviously in the spring game, we had 14 different game-like situations that we worked through, like pressure situations, and to try to get guys like that kind of experience. And, we practice really fast. We have a crazy fast tempo. And so, that puts added stress and pressure on young players. And so, that's been our goal. And really we're just focused on, being mentally tough, and having a lot of self-discipline. And those are, I think, the two areas that we really need to be rock solid in the big moments. It's just having that mental toughness and having the discipline to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done.
Coming up, Coach Brady tells us how his players have become ambassadors for the game and how there are now more options for Division II players to continue to play football after college.
You're listening to the best local sports podcast in Michigan, and that's a Duff said.
If it's pizza night, Sheldon Street Pizza has got you covered. Sheldon's pizzas are always made fresh when you order them, and the readers of the Lake Orion Review have voted Sheldon's breadsticks as the best in Lake Orion. Stop by Sheldon Street Pizza at 3767 South Baldwin Road in Orion Township, or you can order online by visiting sheldonstreetpizza.com. Don't forget to try one of Sheldon's salads with his special blend of homemade salad dressings. He's also got some pretty tasty desserts as well. Sheldon Street Pizza. More than just pizza. It's the official pizza of a Duff set. Okay, I want to take a second now to talk to the parents and adults listening to this podcast. If you are looking for a fun night out during the weekend here in Lake Orion, then stop by Fourth Coast Cider Works. Fourth Coast Cider Works is the place to be for hard cider in Oakland County. Located in the main entrance to Canterbury Village, Fourth Coast is quality craftsmanship, quality hard cider. Stop by Fourth Coast and try some of their many flavors on tap. You can also take some home in a can or a howler. Fourth Coast is open Thursday through Sunday. For a complete list of ciders and hours, go to fourthcoastciderworks.com. Fourth Coast Cider Works. The best hard cider is on the Fourth Coast. Not available for anyone under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly. For people that are unfamiliar with how spring games work, what is the process like to get ready for it and then go out and perform knowing that you're going to have a lot of time between now and that first practice this summer?
Yeah, it's just a build-up. The spring game's really a celebration, to be honest with you. I don't like it because it's the only time in the spring where we really tackle, and then there's that risk for injury. So, we like to be really smart. We like to practice and stay on our feet. And but for the kids, it's a celebration. The parents get to come and the families and our alums and recruits. And so it turns into a big event, and we get all dressed up in our uniforms, and the announcers are there. And, we had a referee clinic going on with 15 officials from all over in the Big Ten and the MAC. And so that was really cool. And, we did a community youth day event beforehand, and, had 150 youngsters running around. And so, we had a jam-packed day of all kinds of different things going on. And then we had a family barbecue and pig roast for our whole program after the event. So it was a 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. kind of a work day there for the coaching staff, and our players did a great job serving the community and giving back. And then we went out and had a really exciting active situational scrimmage, and then we did some live tackling for about 2 quarters. So just about over 100 snaps and a lot of good film. Got everybody a lot of work, and it's just a great evaluation tool moving forward.
You had kids out there ages 5 to 17 allowed to participate with you guys and to do some drills and get a chance to interact with the guys on your program. How special was that to show the youngsters what your guys go through and really give them an introduction to your program?
Oh, yeah. I'll be honest, it was incredible. We had a beautiful day. It was 84 degrees. And
I know, where'd that go?
It was great. Yeah. I wish 84 would stay every day. And but we got a lot of sun and had to get the sunscreen out. And but we had a great turnout. 10:30 in the morning, we checked them in, and the line was all the way through the parking lot. And I said, "Oh wow, this is going to be cool." And we turned out to have just a little over 150 kids out there, and we had 50 plus of our players, with 10 different stations and kids going from station to station to station and getting to interact with our players. And, we had some music going, and it was just a really cool environment, and really appreciative of, Saginaw County 40 Club for sponsoring that event. And I mean, there's nothing better, Duff, than, free football, free food, free shirt, and get to hang out with the college football players and their coaches for a morning and enjoy the spring game. So that's just what it was. And it was just a great feeling to see the smile on those little guys' faces, and just to make sure our players know, like, hey, and there's nothing more important than making a difference, and that's really how you leave a legacy. And we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, you're a dad yourself to a couple of youngsters, so I'm sure football is going to be a very integral part of their life if they decide they want to go that route. But when you get a chance to actually interact with a lot of the kids in the community, how special is that for you? What's it like to just see that interaction and to be a part of their lives?
Oh, I mean, the interaction is what it's all about. And so, we put on a really good youth camp in the end of June, and we'll have 200 plus campers, and it's a 2-day event. And I mean, I've seen the impact that our players have as camp counselors, spending 6-7 hours with these kids over the course of a couple of days. And I mean, we had a couple guys that drove all the way to Frankenmuth to watch 6th grade football practice. I mean, that's the kind of connection like our players are investing. I mean, full blown Air Force football, and our guys sweating head to toe, screaming and yelling and cheering. I mean, like 50 of those dudes with, 6th and 7th graders and 8th graders. And I mean, those kids, I just eat it up. They love it, and I'm just so proud of my guys. My guys really take doing that stuff to heart, and they go out there and they give their best. And I mean, the feedback that I get from the parents is just great. And it just means a lot. And it's how you grow the game of football, to be honest. We're just trying to be ambassadors, not just for SVSU and SVSU football, but for the game of football. And I think that's critically important, because the game's under attack, and we need to protect it at all costs.
Absolutely. And I was just going to say, your worst day in Frankenmuth is probably better than your best day in some other towns, because I love going to that community. It's one of my favorite places in all of Michigan. And I'm sure you guys had a great time being there. But more than that, they got a chance to be role models to the community. And that's something that is very important to protecting the game of football, is making sure that people have the right impression and the right idea about who your players are and what their values are. How important was that for them, and how did they embrace that role?
Yeah, we have great kids here, great kids. Our kids are high academic achievers, and our kids, they keep their nose clean and they do the right things. And, we're coaching them hard on those things, and our kids are fully buying into that, and we're located here in the Great Lakes Bay region. This is a great area: Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Flint, just down the road. And so, we're located really in a cool location and a diverse population. And our brand is very strong. And so, and we want to continue to grow our brand, and we really want to keep up our engagement, with our community. And we think our brand of football is exciting. The GLIAC's the best Division II football league in the country. And so, you can come on out to Harvey Wicks Memorial Stadium and watch some high level football. And we, obviously we got a couple young men who, have a chance to, be playing in the NFL, and that we got more guys like that on campus. I'm just going to tell you, we got a lot more like those two. And so, why would you not want to come out and be a part and hang around those guys if you were, 5th and 6th and 7th graders? How cool is that? And be able to follow those guys through their college career and then want to be like them and chase that dream. And I remember when I was that age, and, I was a Dan Marino's my ultimate hero, and so I wore number 13, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, college. Like I was that kid. and so now I'm in a position where I can be a leader and give back and try to take, this program and try to, lift up this community as much as I possibly can. And that's really like what my players and my staff and I are all about.
A few months from now, we might see some of those kids wearing Nowaske or Whiteside jerseys for an NFL team. They could be going out there, and they got such a great impression of them getting to meet somebody who might soon be on an NFL roster getting to wear that jersey. That's just another element of what you have created out there at Saginaw Valley State. You certainly have this program going in the right direction. I know this school has expanded quite a bit in just the short time that I was a part of the community when I worked in that area, because I saw a lot of new things get developed, a lot of new programs around campus, a lot of buildings went up. They've done a great job with the community outreach and getting people to come to Saginaw Valley State, and now you are growing with that. I'm glad you brought up the GLIAC, because not only are you guys in there and you are one of the top tier teams in that conference right now, but it's also home to the back-to-back national champions in Ferris State. Every week is going to be a battle in the GLIAC, so I hope you really convinced a lot of people to come out and watch that brand of football, because it's always exciting. I really enjoyed getting a chance to follow it this season. I was scoreboard watching not just you guys, but I was also seeing what Ferris was doing, what Davenport was doing. I was really thrilled with how far they came in just a short amount of time. And, obviously they got the playoff spot that you guys were in the hunt for. But, having those teams and some of the others that no doubt are going to be developing their programs up north in Marquette with Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech, it's just a great conference that people need to kind of elevate to. And I think you're showing people that there's more than just football coming out of Ann Arbor, East Lansing, and Mount Pleasant every Saturday. It's in Saginaw, too.
Without question. I mean, this league is exceptional. I mean, and every school, is producing, high-level athletes and great football players, and that's what makes the league so special. I've been a part of the league as a player and a coach now for over 20 years, and it's been that way since I was leaguing in 2000. And when I was in high school, I can remember, great Saginaw Valley players like Paul Spicer and Lamar King and Brian Duff and Chucky Davis and Glenn Martinez and Matt LaFleur, and the list, John DiGiorgio and Todd Aramans. The list goes on and on and on from the history and the tradition that Saginaw has produced. And I could go on and on about every other program and the great players that they've had. And I just think it's a good reminder for everybody to, hey, there's great football right down the road on Saturday, and why would you miss it?
The hardest part for you now is just having to wait till late August, early September to get it going. Like you said, this was something that you got to do for a short time, but now it's just going to be a little off time before you guys get back out there later this summer. So what was your message to the guys as you broke up for the weekend?
Yeah, I just told them I was really proud of them and for the job that they did, all winter through winter conditioning and through spring ball. And I was really, really proud of them in the way that they, dominated on Saturday, and the way that they took care of each other. Whenever you go live, you're always worried about guys, thinking they got too much to prove, and that's how somebody gets hurt. So I thought we really took care of each other, and we're really smart, and we didn't put anybody in, any position where they could get hurt. And now it's, really the message is simple. It's just we're focused on academics. We've got 2 weeks left of the semester, and now we're just really switching gears to, preparing for our finals and finishing this semester up strong academically.
I'm so glad that we were able to connect this week and get a chance to really talk about the future for guys like Trevor Nowaske and Nick Whiteside.
The draft's just around the corner, so hopefully we'll be talking more, and hopefully those guys will be with teams here shortly.
Where will you be for the draft? Do you have any plans, like a watch party or anything for that?
I don't have any plans as of yet, but I can guarantee you wherever I'm at, whatever I'm doing, man, I'm going to be locked in, and so is our team. Our pro day down at the Legacy Center was awesome. We had, I think, 17 NFL scouts. We had XFL teams there, USFL teams. And, I was really excited. I think we had over 12 different programs represented. Every school from the GLIAC, I think, except one, had somebody at our pro day, and we had some NAI schools there. And so I was just happy that we were able to, provide the opportunity for other small school kids to have a chance to come and show out and show what they can do. And, it was a great event. I thank my buddy, Justin Sasante, and everybody down at the Legacy Center for, hosting us and letting us do a pro day there. And, we held it down there so we could accommodate the scouts, and they got a hectic schedule from one school to one school to one school to the next school to another school. And it was just easier to get more scouts there. And so we held it there this year, and it really worked out really well. We had a great turnout with a lot of scouts, and we had some guys, not just, Trevor and Nick, but a lot of other Cardinals that were very well represented. And, Isaiah Malcolm and Casey Williams are a couple that come to mind that really had good pro days. And there's so many professional leagues right now. Like, I strongly believe we're going to have more guys that are going to be, USFL guys, XFL guys, CFL guys. So, that's exciting. Like, and that's really a motivating factor for, a lot of smaller school guys is now it's not just NFL or bust. There's opportunities to continue playing, and a lot of them. And so that's really, I think, motivated a lot of kids, and that's growing the game of football as well.
That includes the Michigan Panthers, who are going to be playing some of their games in Ford Field this season. Do you plan on going to any of those games this year?
I'd like to. It just depends on how my schedule all pans out. It was hard just getting with you this week. So, but
hey, we made it. We connected.
The Panthers, they were at our pro day, and so that they were there scouting things out, and I've heard from them. I know a couple people in their front office, and so they definitely got their eyes on a few of our guys, and so that's exciting. But definitely big supporters of any Michigan football team in the state.
I plan to be there on May 13th. That's when they were going to have a game at Ford Field. Michigan is playing Pittsburgh that day. I've actually got front row seats on the 40-yard line for that one. So if one of your guys is there, I will definitely be repping SVSU. I will have the Saginaw Valley State t-shirt on that day.
Well, let's go, Duff. Would my invitation get lost in the mail or what?
I should have called you. Yeah, I didn't think about that because I was so locked in on your guys getting like selections on draft day for the NFL. I didn't think about that at the time. I didn't think about that until Trevor had mentioned it. But then it dawned on me that there is that opportunity for a lot of your guys and guys in the GLIAC too. There are so many more opportunities. Yeah, so like you said, it's no longer NFL or bust. It's an opportunity to excel at a higher level beyond college. And I hope a lot of these guys that you just mentioned get that call in the next few weeks to get that opportunity to further their playing careers.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I'm confident there's going to be a lot more Saginaw Valley guys continuing their career here in the future as well.
But Ryan, those tickets to the Panthers game, they're only $10, so I think you can manage.
Hey, I think I can manage, but man, front row with Duff Tyler. I mean, that doesn't get any more better.
That's only $40. That was only $40. So I couldn't pass up on that. So yeah, the wife are going with some friends of ours, and we're excited. I'm hoping to see somebody from Saginaw there this May 13th.
Send me a picture there when you're there front row.
Oh, you know me. I am always on Twitter and Facebook, so I'm definitely going to be posting that. And if people want to follow me there, you can find me at Duff Tyler or Sports Journalist Duff Tyler on Facebook. But yeah, I definitely will be looking for your guys on draft week. Hopefully we're going to hear a lot of guys be moving on. I'm really looking forward to what you guys are going to do this fall. Coach Ryan Brady, thank you so much for making the time this week. It was so exciting to reconnect with you, and I am looking forward to this fall. It's going to be a great season for you guys. I know that the mission has not been accomplished yet. You guys are still in the hunt for the playoffs. Once that practice starts, that's what it's all about, completing that mission.
Yeah, it's been great talking with you too, Duff. I appreciate you having me on.
If you would like to hear more about Saginaw Valley State football, or you just want to listen to previous episodes of A Duff Said, then head to my website, aduffsaid.com. You can look me up on Facebook. Just look for sports journalist Duff Tyler. You can find me on Twitter, minus the blue check mark, at Duff Tyler. If you would like to get an alert sent to your mobile device when I post a new show, then become a subscriber. Just head over to Podbean, Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Our announcer today was Ben Hassinger, Michigan's ukulele ambassador. Be sure to check out my conversation with him by choosing one of the options that I just mentioned for listening to A Duff Said. All other announcements are done by Steve Gale, the best high school sports public address announcer in the state of Michigan. And that's a wrap on this week's show on the 2,559th day since the Detroit Red Wings hosted a playoff game. I was there. It's also been 2,557 days since their last playoff game, but please continue to trust the Iser plan. Once again, I'm Duff Tyler, and I'm reminding you that if Duff said it, it must be true, because that's what a Duff said.